Can anybody guide me? I'm using this Apple laptop, so I'm not getting the share my presentations. So present now, so I'm not getting their option. Dr. Subhangi, can you give your email ID? I will post you so that you can start the presentation from your side. You start sharing the slides.
Yes, sir. You can do.
Give me your email ID.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I will just mail you. WhatsApp.
नमस्ते सर नमस्ते
नमस्ते सर नमस्ते हेगिद्री कैसे आप बढ़िया
बढ़िया सर बढ़िया आप कैसे हो ठीक हो
बढ़िया बढ़िया क्या करे सब जगह पर कोरोना
Sir,
तांडव मचा
shall
के
we
रखा है
shall we start, sir?
हमारा आयुर्वेद में इसी को कहा है कि भूत
हाँ वही
भूत
तो सर
विद्या तंत्र भूत
वही
विद्या
वही
तंत्र के अंतर्गत जो है आयुर्वेद शास्त्र में पहले ही कहा है
हाँ
कि ये भूत की संसर्ग से होती है और
वही तो
ये अशुद्धि से जन्म लेता है
हाँ 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 हाँ
Sir, shall we start?
1 minute, sir.
हाँ definitely Dr.
Already done the live
Shubhangi,
session.
can you give your email ID so that I will send my PPT?
I have already sent you the email ID. You can send out there. I have
Okay,
already sent.
okay. Okay, MR Patel. Okay, I'm sending this.
So, ma'am, shall we start?
Yes, yes.
Sir. Yes. Dr. Nikhil, you can
Okay.
start.
Okay. A warm good morning to all. CVM's GJPIASR Institute of Ayurvedic Studies and Research and Department of ROGANIDANA welcomes you all for the webinar on the topic Pathology in Ayurveda on the occasion of World Laboratory Day. Myself, Dr. Nikhil S., Assistant Professor from Department of ROGANIDANA, GJPIASR Institute of Ayurvedic Studies and Research. So, on April 24th, World Laboratory Day celebrates the place where the great inventions and the major breakthroughs which help to make the world a better place. So, on this special occasion, we have planned to conduct a webinar with the Aptas Dr. P.S. Byadgi sir and Dr. Jeet Varsakiya sir. Before moving on to the function, let's spare some time for the prayer. Over to you, Mr. Mihir Patel.
I sent an email, okay?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Ma'am, shall we start the prayer?
Yes, yes. Let's start it.
Okay, ma'am.
दातारमीशं विविधौषधीनाम्
Thank you. And now I welcome Dr. Shubhangi Patil, ma'am, HOD, Department of ROGANIDANA, for welcome address. Over to you, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone. Ayurveda has the main motto Swasthasya Swastha Rakshanam Aturasya Vikara Prashamnam cha. Ayurveda has two whole objectives. One is to maintain the positive health and the second is to eradicate the disease. Today Ayurveda remains influential system of medicine all over world. Principles stated by the Charaka and the Bhagavad still today are having the good and the even good today. So, Sir Brian McLean has told that health is the price of wealth. Invest if you can. So there is a word this is the reality and the truth of the recent pandemic area situation we are going. Each and every field is contributing to fight against this pandemic and in the variety form. So especially the medical field has the powerful effect on this, and the pathology cannot remain away from the same. So, considering this, we have to respect the pathological health in the field of the this medical effect, medical world, and the contribution to the medical field. We are today going to celebrate the World Laboratory Day, and I like to welcome everyone on this occasion. So, good afternoon, everyone, once again. I, the Dr. Shubhangi Patel, HOD, and the Professor, Department of ROGANIDANA and VIKRITI VIGYAN, like to take the privilege and welcome you on the national webinar in the pathology in Ayurveda on the occasion of World Laboratory Day. I would like to welcome our respected chairman and the president of the CVM University, Sri Patel sir, and the director GJPIASR, Babariya sir. Welcome you, sir, all. I would also like to welcome the CVM University's registrar, Ragneshwari madam. Welcome you, madam. Also, I would like to bestow the blessings from the our these like the Guru-like people in our life. You know that Charutar Vidya Mandil is a benchmark in the education system more than 75 years, and they are contributing powerful thing in the powerful contribution in the field of the education. So I would like to everyone directly and indirectly who have given this platform for our webinar today for the aspiration of the knowledge. Ayurveda have acknowledged the motto of that Prunvanto Vishwaswastam means that everyone has the have to make the world healthy. So for this, the Shastra has explained the Panchakarma Chikitsa, but regarding to the duty of the Vaidya, there has been the another explanation that is called as the Vaidya Panchakarma, and these are the five types. The first is the Adhyana means learning, Adhyapana means teaching, Sanshodhana means the research, then the Seva means service to the humanity, and one is the Prachara and the Pratisamskaram. The spreading of the knowledge and editing the Shastra, these are the five folds of the duties of the doctor. So today we have the powerful and the resourceful two guests. They are full of knowledge and having these five types of the fivefold duties they have done in their life. And we are very privileged today to have such a guest like Parameeswarappa sir and Jitendra Varsakiya sir. Welcome you both sir on the occasion of the World Laboratory Day and the Pathology in Ayurveda. I also heartily congratulate all my colleagues, friends, and students. Presence is going to give the dazzling glow to this today's function. So again, on the behalf of the GJPIASR and CVM University, I would like to welcome all you and very grateful. Thank you. Over to you, Dr. Nikhil.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, for the introduction of the dignitaries, I welcome Dr. Mahesh Patel, sir, Associate Professor, Department of ROGANIDANA. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Nikhil. I would like to introduce our first speaker, Dr. Parameeswarappa Byadgi, sir. He is currently working as a professor and HOD, head of the Department of ROGANIDANA and VIKRITI VIGYAN, PHU Varanasi. Sir already had a vast teaching experience of 18 years. Sir already had more than 100 publications and more than 30 full paper publications. Sir already delivered more than 100 guest lectures, as well as sir already published 13 books. Sir already provided research guidance to more than 20 students, and sir won 14 awards as well as 2 special achievements. So please welcome Dr. Byadgi, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Mahesh Patel, sir, for brief and kind words about me. And actually, I'm having a problem with my slide sharing. So that's the reason I mailed you. So can you start the? Can you show me the? Can you start the slide presentation from your side? Is it possible? I mailed you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm most thankful to CH Barbaria sir, Director, GJ Patel Institute of Ayurveda Studies and Research, and the entire team of ROGANIDANA, starting from Dr. Subhangi Madam, Dr. Mahesh Patel sir, and Dr. Nikhil Santosh sir, and Dr. Jitendra Varsakiya sir, and Dr. Mihir Patel. So all who are there, I'm not able to recall if they all whole ROGANIDANians. So I heartily congratulate you for organizing such a wonderful webinar program. The time is short. Even then, I was actually prepared on a very 1.5 hour lecture, but later it was concluded to in half an hour. So I will try my level best to conclude it to half an hour only. Okay. Dr. Mahesh, can you start the presentation slides? Share the slides, please.
Yes, sir.
Well, this is the Banaras Hindu University main camp entry gate. Who is the founder is the Pandit Madan Mohan Malviji. He is the founder of Kashi Hindu Vishwavidyalaya. It's one of the great, beautiful university campus. You might have seen it is around 1,300 acres, very big campus with full of greeneries and all. Make it in a presentation mode. Mahesh sir, make it in a presentation mode, sir.
Already did it, sir.
Okay, go to the next slide, please. So today I am going to discuss about the what are the clinical laboratory aspects of the things which are mentioned in Ayurvedic classical text. As you know that most of the Ayurvedic, the strength of Ayurveda is, if you're dividing the clinical aspects of it to diagnose any diseases, there are three important things will be there. One is the medical history, number two is the clinical examination, and number three is the ancillary investigation. So out of these, the combining all the three, you are going to diagnose the disease. So the first component, the strength of Ayurveda, is the medical history, where based on the medical history, you can diagnose the disease and you can come to certain presentations. Can you go to the previous slide? Title slide.
Just a minute, sir.
Okay, so the out of that there will be three important components. One is the medical history, number two is the clinical examination, number three the ancillary investigation. The out of three, all three are important for the diagnosis of the diseases. There are certain diseases which you can diagnose based on only the medical history, combined with the clinical examination findings, and in certain cases you may require the ancillary investigation to diagnose a disease. But there are certain conditions. The title page, sir. Title slide one. Title page. Can you go back? Go back. Okay. Okay. So today I am going to discuss about the things which are told in Ayurveda in context to the understanding of the ama. In the present current understanding of the science, but there are the versions which you give me a task. What may be the laboratory investigations which we can make it out in from the point of view of Ayurveda. As I mentioned earlier, the strength of Ayurveda is the medical history. So, lot of information, subjective findings are described in Ayurveda in detail. So based on that particular subjective criteria, you can diagnose the person who is suffering from this particular entity. But to a certain extent, certain examination findings are also mentioned in Ayurveda. So, but that portion is also in the form of it's in the form of some limitations were there in that particular portion also. But the strength of Ayurveda is the subjective criteria, but the clinical examination portion is to a certain extent acceptable, and it some points are mentioned based on that you can make a diagnosis. But the third component, which is the laboratory investigation portion, that we can call it as an ancillary investigation. So ancillary investigation means it comprises of blood investigation, it comprises of urine examination, it comprises of the non-invasive investigation tools, it comprises of the biopsies, and it comprises of the lot of things, lot other, whatever the investigations on the CT scan, MRI, whatever, USG, whatever the investigations which are necessary to diagnose the disease. So accordingly, you can advise the patients to undergo those investigations, and based on all the combining all the three together, you can diagnose the disease. But the strength of Ayurveda is the clinical presentations or the subjective criteria. So today I'm going to focus about that what exactly means AMA discussed in Ayurveda, and with possible correlations we can make out with the present this thing. So that the generation or the development AMA is totally because of the disturbed functions of the Agni. So everybody has accepted. So somebody has told Ushmana Alpha, somebody has told Kagni, Daurbalyata, somebody has told the Agni Mandita, somebody has told Mandagni. There are a lot of descriptions which are available in the classical text. So that indicates that the Ama, to develop an Ama, so Agni should be in the Bala, the Agni is Manda. So Agni Bala is Manda. That Agni Manda Agni Bala is responsible for the development of the Ama. As a result of that particular the Ama which has been developed inside the body, as a result of that, it produces the undigested food material inside the gastrointestinal tract, that we can call it as an Ama. Certain definitions are mentioned. There are various differences or various references are available. But in my opinion, to say some Ama, to say an Ama, there will be an there are Ahara Sangatakara Bhavas. For Ahara Sangatakara Bhavas, the Ushma is important, Vayu is important, Sleshma is important, that Sneha is important. So if there is a deficiency of either of all the 6 components, so that leads to the development of the Ama inside the body. Number 1. Number 2, in my opinion, there will be a process of Avastha Paka mentioned in Ayurveda. There will be 3 different Pakas. One is Madhura Avastha Paka, Amla Avastha Paka, and Katura Avastha Paka. There will be development of Ama at 3 levels. So if there is a defect in the Prathama Avastha Paka, that leads to the development of Ama in the first stage itself. That is in the form of Madhura, Adya, Rasadhatu form. If there is a development of the next stage, after passing the first stage, and if it is going to the next stage, so that we can call it as the development of Ama at the Dvitiya Avastha Paka, that is Amlata. If the food attains the Amlata and it remains in the Amla form, and it is not get converted into the Kata Avastha Paka. So that is Ama. In certain patients or in certain individuals where the Ama stage, the Prathama Avastha Paka is fine, Dvitiya Avastha Paka is fine, but the Tritiya Avastha Paka is incomplete. So that stage is also considered as an Ama. So that's why the beauty of Ayurveda, why all Ayurvedic physicians are not getting success in treatment is they are not able to understand the development of Ama at these 3 levels. And accordingly, if you are not implementing the line of treatment, if there is a development of Ama in the Prathama Avastha Paka, treatment differs. If it is at the Amla Avastha Paka, treatment differs. If it is at the level of the Katu Avastha Paka, if there is a defect in that, so treatment differs. So that's the reason you need to understand the clinical presentations. Based on that, you need to diagnose, and then you have to plan the line of treatment. This is the one aspects of the Ama definition we can make it out. Another one is, so there are 3 different versions are there. Somebody says that there is an improperly digested, that I told improperly digested or Mandavala Agni is responsible for the development of Ama. Somebody says that there is an excess accumulation of the Mala. So in my opinion, if the Agni Bala is Manda, so there will be a Sara and Kitta. Instead of development of Sara, Kitta is excessively accumulated. So that way they might have told the accumulation of Mala is considered as Ama. Some people are saying that. So it is the primary stage for the initiation of the dosas. So it is the initiation it is the initiator in the form of antigens. In the form of antigens, it forms the development of certain reactions. It is the basis. It is the basis for the development of antigen antibody reactions inside the body. So that also considered as the Ama. It has been told by some people. Next one. So the some people are saying, if it is, that's what I do. Partially digested food means that I told, partially means partially digested food, only in the Madhuravastha Paka or in the Madhura Amlavastha Paka and Katavastha Paka. That's if all the three pakas are completed, then only we can call it as complete digestion. If there is a defect in any of the three stages, that leads to the development of the ama. But there are some people are saying that if they there is a comparing with that of the ama forms mixing with the agitated dosas, like formation of the poison after mixing with various kinds of the kodravas. Kodrava seva vadanta amasa sambhu. But in Susruta Samhita, there is a nice description is available. Wherever ama goes, wherever ama goes, if it goes to the joints, it forms a pain there and develops the reaction there in the form of swelling, in the form of redness, or in the form of discomfort in that particular region, and that we can call it as an ama. So this ama dosha or ama pradosha, the resulting action of ama inside the body, we can call it as ama dosha. So once ama is formed, the actions which it is going to make inside the body is known as the ama dosha. Meant that there are certain reactions developed inside the there are certain reactions inside the body due to the under-processed anna rasa is called as the ama pradosha. Because when this ama comes in contact with dosha, leading to the vitiation of sharira by manifesting various kinds of diseases. That's the reason that when it comes when describing the definition of the doshas, Vadis amaya is also one of the synonym, because most of the diseases are arising because of Mandagni, and if Mandagni is the basis for the development of the ama, that's the reason it has also been told amaya. Next slide, please. This ama pradosha veda, everybody knows that there are two important ama pradoshas are developing, Visuchika and Alasaka. Then there are three different terminologies which you in Ayurveda: ama, sama, and amavisha. So you need to understand ama, number one, number two, sama, number three is the amavisha. So these three conditions are all together in a different condition, different things. So in the first stage, that ama is the condition where it develops because of the agni bala mandata in the form of adya rasa dhatu. If it is improperly processed condition, that condition is known as the ama. When this particular ama comes in contact with doshas and dosas, that condition is known as the sama, and that is responsible for the development of various diseases inside the body. Number three, even after the development of the ama, if the person continuously indulges the etiological factor which are responsible for the ama, that further leads to the further depletion, further madness in the agnis. That leads to, in that particular condition, if whatever the person eats, that is resulting into the improperly processed, and it is not at all getting digested. That will convert it into the soreness. That is known as the amavisha. Next one. So in this particular conditions, there are whatever the particular person consumes and whatever the things eat, that will get converted into sourness, and that particular sourness leads to liberate certain poisons in the amasya, leading to the certain symptoms in the form of food poisoning. That's the reason in Ayurveda it has been told, whenever there is a development of ama inside the body, either it will go out in the form of vamana or it will go out in the form of atisara. So that's the initial phase of the ama. Even in that particular condition, if the person stops, that will leads to development of lot many diseases inside the body. That's the reason you should not stop, because it is eliminating, it is liberating, and it is eliminating through vamana or through atisara, so that the doshas which are accumulated in the form of ama, so that will be excreted out, and that will reduces the burden of the antigen load inside the body. Then the treatment also, when it comes to the treatment for the ama and amavisha is different, because when you are giving a treatment for ama, you need to give the ushna jala, but for amavisha you need to give the sitala kriyas. So Langanadi Kriya and all those things. So there is an Viruddhopakrama. When it comes to the treatment modalities for Ama Visha condition and Ama are the Viruddhopakrama. And Ama Visha condition is Ashu conditions. It develops the instantaneous, very acute conditions, and that becomes very difficult in certain patients. But that's not the case in case of Ama. It develops the very chronic conditions and gradual development of the disease process will be there. Next one. So that is why this ama develops inside the body. You know that everybody, if the person is not following the Ashtavidha Ahara, which the rules and regulations mentioned in Ashtavidha Ahara Visheshayatana, the person does not follow that. That leads to formation of the ama. Along with that, if the person is taking the food in improper time, too much heavy food, which is heavy for digestion, unctuous, cold, dry, and despicable, constipative, irritant, unclean, and naturally contradictory substances that leads to the development of ama. These are the some of the food. Then some of the psychological causes in the form of the person afflicted with passion, anger, greed, confusion, envy, bashfulness, grief, indigestion, anxiety, and fear. That is also responsible for the development of the ama. If the person consumes if the person Charaka says that intake of the wholesome food in the proper quantity do not get properly digested if the person is afflicted with the grief, fear, anger, sorrow, excessive sleep, and the excessive vigil. So when the dosha prakopa factors which are mentioned to each dosas are also responsible for the development of the ama. The another important thing is very important sloka given in Sarvanga Sundara Ashtanga Hridaya Sutra. Wherever there is a development of ama, this can be understood in the form of that. There is a liquid, there is an eye discharge, liquid eye discharge. There is a liquid, there is an ear discharge. There is a watery liquid in the form of excessive atisarana. That atisarana in the form of atisara, excessive mutra pravritti. So where there is an excessive liquidity wherever in the form of maybe it may be in Saririka Mala or it may be a Dhatu Mala. For example, in the form of Rasadhatugata Malarupi Kapha, if it comes out through the nasal cavity in the form of liquid, sneezing in the form of these things, it comes out lot of substances which comes out that is known as liquid nature. So liquid nature either it comes out in the form of Saririka Mala or Dhatu Malas. So in the form of Dhatumala and Saririkamala, so that we can get if there is any liquidity. If liquidity is noted in any of the body, maybe from the eye discharges, or through the ear discharges, or through any from the any external this thing. So that is in the form of the liquid one. Next, it is heavy. Whenever this particular ama when it develops inside the body, that attains the guru, and this is having the high molecular weight because it is full of the excessive waste products in that. And Nana Varnatum, very important is the Nana Varnatum. Can you go back? Nana Varnatum, very important is the Nana Varnatum. It attains different colors. Maybe an Aruna Varna, Krishna Varna, Pita Varna, Shweta Varna, Harita Varna, Haridra Varna. So there is a different colorations. That particular different Manjista Varna, many different colorations that will leads to the helpful. It means it's not normal for each and every this thing. For kapha, there is a normal color has been designated. For mutra, normal color has been designated. For purusha, normal color has been designated. But other than that, if it attains a different color, that's called as ama. And it has also been amaya. It has been told, and this is slimy. It is viscid, and if it is like a thready like nature, and if it is sticky in nature, then it's called as something like stuck inside the throat, or and even in this thing sticky in nature, and it manifests various kinds of pain when you are passing the stool, when you are passing the urine, or when you are coughing out, when you this thing it comes out with the pain, produces lot of sound while passing the stool, and produces the very difficulty when you're passing the urine. So that indicates the development of ama inside the body, and is increased turbidity in the urine, in the stool, or in any of the this thing. And this particular thing, it is also the ama wherever it manifests, it is having capacity to obstruct the channels. Next one. So we have prepared in questionnaire for the understanding of the Sama based on the Srutoroda Valapramsa Gorvanila Mudata Asakti Alasa Apatti Nistiva Malasanga Ruchiklama. Based on that way, for the part of the PhD thesis program, so we developed a questionnaire for the assessment of the AMA conditions. We asked the questions: do you feel any kind of obstruction when swallowing the food? If the patient says, we will note it down. No means no. Are you feeling excessive weakness? Srotoro the balabramsa, that is balabramsa. The weakness, if the patient says yes, that we mark it as yes. Are you feeling heaviness in the body? Then Dhanasota Balam's Gaurava, that's Anila Mudata. Do you feel obstruction in the passage of flashes? Then if it is yes. And do you feel excessive lethargies? If it is yes or no. Are you suffering from indigestion? Yes or no. Are you spitting sputum? Do you feel something stuck in the throat? So that if it is yes or no. Do you feel constipated? Do you feel lack of desire towards the food? Do you feel exhausted even without doing any work? So these are the questionnaires which we prepared, and we ask the questions to the patients, and then we check yes or no. Next one. Maximum number of possible is 10. 10 questions you have prepared. Out of 10 questions, if the 6 are available, if the 6 are present in that particular patient, so then we can diagnose it as the patient is suffering from the AMA conditions. So more than 50% of the score must be there to diagnose it as an AMA conditions. Next one. Then that I told you there are different many functions will be there. The development of AMA at various levels, at the level of Tragni Mardhavata, at the level of Datvagni Mardhavata, at the level of the Bhutagni Mardhavata. So that also needs to be minutely understood. Then only we can make the proper treatment modalities. And this particular here, this particular AMA mix dosha dhatu and mala, that is both Sarir Mala, it develops certain complex adverse reactions, which is the basis for manifestation of the diseases. And Ama and Sama are the two main classifications mentioned in the Ayurveda. Next one. So there are Sama and Nirama conditions, Sama dosha, Sama dhatu, and Sama mala, especially the Sama mala and Sama dhatu mala. And based on that, we can classify the AMA conditions and the conditions. Next. The as I mentioned, there are classical Samhita, when the prodromal features of AMA is mentioned only in classical Samhita in connection to the kids who are considered to be suffering from AMA condition, that the kids are having the, especially neonates are having the stiffness, anorexia, excessive sleep, excessive pallor, dullness, continuous aversion from play, food, sleep, wet nurse, and appearance of bath when unbathed, and vice versa. So if that such clinical features are observed, then we can consider it as a patient. The kids or the neonates are suffering from the AMA. But the other, as I mentioned earlier, the general symptoms of AMA is mentioned based on the questionnaires. I will not go into the repeat those things. And the specific features of Sama Vata Lakshanas and Sama, next one, Sama Pitta Lakshanas, and Sama Mata and Niramata and Sama Pitta Nirama Lakshanas are there. Next one. Sama Kapha and Nirama Kapha Lakshanas are also mentioned in my classical text. I will not go into that. So in general, we can say that Nirama Lakshanas and the Sama Lakshanas, wherever there is a symptoms of to the AMA are considered as Nirama Lakshanas. Say, for example, there is an AMA. it attains a different color, and the different colors in the form of it may be reddish discoloration, greenish discoloration, or there will be an yellowish discoloration. So there is a color change. There is a change in the color and the increasing quantity of the fecal matter. The presentations are there. Then we can consider it a person is from the stool. Mama Victor Purita. And Nirama Yukta Purusa is if the person passes that I told earlier also, when person passes the stool, it passes with difficulty, with sound, with foul smell, with different colors, that indicates towards the, with watery stools and all, that indicates towards Saama. Opposite to that, we can call it as an Nirama Lakshanas. There is a Saama Sweda and Nirama Sweda Lakshanas are also we can understand based on that there will be an excess of sweating, which yields very foul smell, which is sticky in nature, and which is snigdhata, which is full of turbidity, and that will also yields the excessive sweating comes out from the body. So that we can call it as the person is having the suffering with itching, associated with itching, that we can call it as having the Samasveda Lakshanas. Opposite to that is the Niramasvedata. But generally we missed it out when it comes to the Rasadhatugata Malarupi Kapha Lakshanas. So for that, we can get the different references are available in the classical text of Ayurveda when it comes to description of the Rajaexma Roga, where they have been mentioned that there will be a Durgandha Yukta Kapha comes out, which is Harita Varna, Visra, Bahalam, Maduram. It attains the different taste also. That also, if it attains the Madurata in the sputum, that also indicates towards the Ama Lakshanas. So if it attains the different the Durgandha Yukta, Bahalam, Maduram, Pichilam, Visram, Durgandham, these are all the clinical features. If you noted in this in the sputum, if it comes out. So generally, even nowadays, when it comes to the any other bacterial infections or fungal infections, or the viral infections, the sputum which comes out, which is having a different colors, maybe to that of the blackish color stools, or reddish colored sputum, black color sputum, greenish color sputum, yellowish color sputum, pink color sputum. These are all some of these the changes in the color of the sputum, and the same presentations has been told even in Ayurveda also in context to certain diseases. The same with the in Raktadhatugata Malarupi Pitta also, where there is it attains the different colors like pale color, pallor, deep yellow, and greenish discoloration of the skin, and the affected skin becomes the rough and blackish, pale in color, and the color changes in the eyes to that of the yellowish discoloration. Saama Aruna Varnata in case of Vataja Vikara, Pitta and Rakta Varnata in case of Pittaja Vikaras, and Sweta Varnata in case of the Kafaja Vikara. So like that, if that such presentations are there, so that we can call it as the person is suffering from the Sama Rasadhatugata Malarupi, Sama Raktadhatugata Malarupi, Pitta is formed in excess because of the Raktadhatu Agni Mandata is there. As a result of that, Pitta is more formed than the other Raktadhatu. Next. So when it comes to what are the differential between the Ama and Amarasa, as I mentioned earlier, Amarasa is manifest because of the Manda Agnivala, and it manifests the Ama Visha, it manifests after the formation of the Ama. After the development of Ama, if the person again adopts the etiological factors which are responsible for the Ama, resulting into the further Manda Agni Mardavata and resulting into the development of Ama Visha. It manifests in Amasya, it manifests, the Amasya also manifests in the Amasya, but it spreads through all over the body. That's why it is called as Asukaritvat, Viruddhopakramatvat, Sita Kriyatvat, like that presentations are told in context to the Amavisha. And it responds to the principles of treatment of Ama in the case of Amavisha, but it does not respond to the principles of Ama because of the antiguity in the line of treatment of Ama with that of Amavisha. Because hard therapies are conducive to Ama, it gets relieved, but it aggravates Amavisha. Cold therapies are conducive to Amavisha, but it aggravates the Ama conditions. If there is an amarasa, as I mentioned earlier, it's a gradual manifestation, but when it's an amavisha condition, there's an acute instantaneous development will be there. Diseases become curable or incurable or curable with difficulties in case of the amarasa, but usually if there's an amavisha development will be there. After that, if the reactions are taking place, that usually incurable or it's very difficult for the management. The environment of doshas and srutas, either singly or in combination, resulting into the development of disease in the form of Saama. But here, in the environment of all the doshas involving two or more srutas, in case of the Amavisha conditions. So, in case of Amara Asa, the pathogenesis may be superficial, sometimes it may be deep seated, but in case of Amavisha conditions, it is always entering into the deeper dhatus. A morbid kapha dosha lakshanas mimic with the ama. That's why it is mainly targets the kapha sthanas and later it spreads to the all sides. But in case of amavisa, it targets all because of the yoga vahi nature. It mixes with the vata and spreads to all the body very quickly. And the condition may not be fatal in case of amarasa, but the condition may become fatal in amavisa conditions and may kill the individual. It may be managed successfully, but don't treat. Otherwise, the patient will lose the such if there is an if you are having the amavisha conditions, if there is an associated with other upadravas and risk lakshanas, and don't treat such patients. Next one. So to conclude the overall presentations, we can call it as there is an ama is developing because of the deranged functions of the agnis, and this is developing inside the body, especially in the gastrointestinal tract. And this particular ama, if it remains inside the body, it attains the suktatva, that is the sourness, and which is known as the term as amadosha, rama pradosha. The hazardous effect of that particular ama is dependent on the how much amount of it attains this degree of sukta bhavata. That is the sourness, how much amount that leads to the development of diseases. And the Chakrapani has clarified the sukta bhava is amlatva. So there's an amount of amlatva, how much quantity of amlatva is developed inside the body that decides the sadhya sadhyata of the conditions. So the dietetic indiscretions and emotional stress may also impair the functioning of the neurohumoral mechanisms. As a result of that, ama develops inside the body. And there are two important factors play an important role in the Sukta Paka, that is hyposecretion of digestive juices and diminished or sluggish gastrointestinal motility. Fermentation may relate to the starch or carbohydrate inside the body, which may develop foul odor and extreme pastiness with the increased mucus. They use the word malasanchaya maybe designate ama and sama conditions, because the word mala has two implications. One is the ages and by the product of metabolism. So metabolic waste products, that is malas, not properly eliminated or utilized by the body because it is not assimilable to the body. Ama, amadosha and amavisa plays a vital role in the pathogenesis as well as prognosis of the diseases. Certain chemical compounds in the body damages which accumulates to produce aging are called as free radicals. So this may be considered as ama by a certain people. And abnormal increase in the normal values of the blood, urine, stool, semen, sputum, cerebrospinal fluid, salivary juice, etc. may be considered as ama conditions. Because take for example, in case of the there is an I quoted an example of sputum earlier. I quoted an example of stool earlier. When in the cerebrospinal fluid also, if it's cerebrospinal fluid which yields a very foul smell, which is having a different attain, if it is having a different color, so that we can consider it as the ama conditions. So if it ama manifests in excess, it tries to eliminate through upper channel or through lower channels, or both by manifesting the acute conditions. And direct influence of ama actually observed in certain diseases in amavata, vatrakta, grani dosha, kasa, rajexma, pandu, kamala, kusta, etc. In the directly or indirectly, in udara roga also, mandagnana visheshataha, which has been told sarvepi roga mandagnana visheshataha. So that also there in udara roga also. So these are all the diseases where you can direct influence of. There are next one. Arsha, Atisara and Grahani. There are three important diseases which are developing inside the body because of the Arsha, Atisara, Grahani are developing because of the variations in the Agni. If there's an Agni is declined, then disease will become worsens, and if the Agni is maintained, then the person will be free from the disease. So I published a paper in the International Journal of Pharmaceutical and Phytopharmacological Research, EIJPPR, is a Scopus Index Journal. That is critical understanding of diagnostic criteria pharma. You can go through this particular article. You make it. It's easily available in the website. Next. Another article, clinical assessment criteria for RAMA diagnosis, is again published in Homeopathy and Ayurvedic Medicine Journal. It is an international journal. It is here also you can get a lot of information where I try to compare with that of the present day generation. Next one. The role of Viruddha Chesta in the development of Mamavata, this has been published in Journal of Ayush, Ayurveda, Yoga, Unani, and Siddha and Homeopathy. Next one. So, role of Agni and Ama in the development of Pratishaya, this has been also published in the International Journal. Next. So, thank you very much. So, any questions or any discussions, you are welcome.
So questions and discussion will be entertained at the last, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Thank you, sir, for the informative session. And over to Mahesh, sir, for the introduction of Jeet Varsakiya, sir.
He is awarded as a Ayush-based research award by the Ayush. He is also published two books. He has also more than he also participated in 3 CME 40. I would like to Varsakiya. To you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. First of all, good afternoon, everybody. I would like to thank Dr. Mahesh Patel for giving my brief introduction. Also, I thankful to Dr. Professor C.H. Babaria sir, Director of the Institute and Organizing Committee of National Webinar on the occasion of World Laboratory Day by the GJPIASR Institute of Ayurveda Studies and Research, VIGYAN, Anand, Gujarat. Without wasting time, I am coming to the session. I am uploading my slide also. It is visible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is visible.
Yes. Okay. So today I am deliver the concept on the infectious disease in Ayurveda. अब तक आयुर्वेदा के जो क्लासिक्स में जो कुछ भी कम्युनिकेबल डिसीजेस या तो संक्रामक रोगों के रिगार्डिंग दिया है ना, आज तक बहुत कम लोगों ने उस पर ध्यान दिया है. जो करंट कोविड का सिनेरियो है उसके बाद इसका जो स्टडी, लिटरेचर स्टडी, स्पेशली लिटरेचर स्टडी पे लोगों ने काफी ध्यान दिया है और काफी इन्फेक्शियस माहौल में वो हेल्पफुल है सभी के लिए. तो कमिंग टू नेक्स्ट. Slide. Yes. Infectious diseases, transmissible diseases, and communicable diseases are the terms are used synonymously. Terms same ही हैं. These diseases are contagious in nature and caused by mainly virus, bacteria, fungi, pesticide, etc. The affected hosts fight with these infections through their own immune system, वो चाहे इनेट इम्यून सिस्टम हो सकता है या तो एक्वायर्ड भी हो सकता है। इसको कंट्रोल करने के लिए वेरियस मेथड्स अवेलेबल है, स्पेशली इन आयुर्वेदा क्लासिक्स। मेनली जो भी पर्सन की इम्यून सिस्टम होती है उसको हमें उसकी इम्यूनिटी को एनहांस करना चाहिए उसके प्रिवेंशन के लिए। तो ये जो किसी के भी कंटेक्स्ट में बात कर रहा हूँ मैं, अभी मेनली कोविड के कंटेक्स्ट में बात कर रहा हूँ। तो जो कोविड का इन्फेक्शन है उसके रिगार्डिंग मुझे ज्यादा नॉलेज देने की जरूरत नहीं है। मोस्ट प्रोबेबली सभी मेडिकल पर्संस को उसके रिगार्डिंग सब कुछ मालूम ही है, सिमिलर टू सीवियर एक्यूट रेस्पिरेटरी सिंड्रोम। कमिंग टू नेक्स्ट, ट्रेडिशनल मेडिसिन सिस्टम के बारे में थोड़ा बोलूंगा, उसके बाद आगे बढ़ूंगा। द टर्म ट्रेडिशनल मीन्स हैबिचुअली डन और यूज्ड इन अकॉर्डेंस विद ट्रेडिशन। The traditional medicine is also known as folk medicine or indigenous medicine. The traditional medicine care, such as daily zen, beliefs, theories, and experiences, is being practiced since ancient times. हमारे जो भी ट्रेडिशनल मेथड्स है तो बहुत सालों से एंशियंट टाइम से दादी माँ के वैद्यों के एज इट इज या तो किसी और तरीके से इन प्रैक्टिस है ही, लेकिन उसको एलोबरेट या तो उसको रिसर्चली साइंटिफिकली प्रमोट ज्यादा नहीं मिला है, तो वो कहीं ना कहीं कोटेड है। द WHO मेंशन्ड दैट दीज आर द हेल्पफुल, जो भी ट्रेडिशनल मेडिकल है वो डिसीज के प्रिवेंशन में, इम्प्रूवमेंट में या तो ट्रीटमेंट के तौर पे फिजिकल या तो मेंटल इलनेस में वो हेल्पफुल है। अब जो कम्युनिकेबल डिसीज है या तो संक्रामक रोग है उसका जो डिस्कशन है वो आयुर्वेद ग्रंथों में कहाँ है, तो विमान स्थान में, जद पदोध्वंस के रूप में, जनमार्ग के रूप में एवं मरक और या तो महामारी के रूप में किसी न किसी के अर्थ में सुश्रुत और चरक आचार्यों ने इस कंसेप्ट को एलोबोरेट किया है। तो कौन से ऐसे कॉमन सोशल प्रैक्टिसेस है जो स्पिरिचुअली भी कम्युनिटी में प्रैक्टिस में है और हमारे ग्रंथों में भी जिसको कोट दिया गया है। The aspect of healthy living in a common social practice is still being observed in a many spiritual oriented communities. जैसा कि hand washing before and after meal, after entering home from outside hand wash, cleanliness in the kitchen and dining area, maintenance of personal hygiene of cook, etc. Selection of diet and their combination, जो कि आयुर्वेद में बोला है विरुद्धाहार, ठीक है। लेपन एंड पेंटिंग इनर हॉल ऑफ होम विद द काउ डंग, जो गोमय या तो गोबर से जो घर की दीवारों या तो फ्लोर पे पेंटिंग करना, वो भी एक एंटीसेप्टिक के तौर पे ही है। नमस्ते संस्कार, मानी किसी से डायरेक्टली हैंड नहीं मिलाना। यज्ञ संस्कार, तो उससे क्या होता है तो एटमॉस्फेयर भी प्योरीफाई होगा और मेंटली भी शांति होगी। फर्दर प्योरीफाई ऑफ द एयर एंड मेंटल स्ट्रेस को रिड्यूस करने के लिए मेडिटेशन, प्राणायाम, ये जो सारी चीजें प्रैक्टिस में है ये कहीं ना कहीं इन्फेक्शियस डिसीज को चेन तोड़ने के लिए कोट किया गया है। ये वर्षों से प्रैक्टिस में चली आ रही है और तो इसके रिगार्डिंग हमारे आयुर्वेद ग्रंथों में भी कहीं ना कहीं कोटिंग दिया गया है। अब जो ये कम्युनिकेबल या तो इन्फेक्शियस डिसीज है वो मैनकाइंड को कैसे अफेक्ट करेंगे, तो जिसकी इम्यूनो कॉम्प्रोमाइज माने इम्यूनो रेजिस्टेंस पावर कम होगा जिस पर्सन का, या तो इम्यूनो कॉम्प्रोमाइज पर्सन हो गए, उसको डिसीज अफेक्ट जल्दी करते हैं। तो उसको प्रिवेंट करने के लिए हमें क्या करना चाहिए, तो जो आयुर्वेद ग्रंथों में रेजुवेनेशन ड्रग दी गई है, जो इम्यूनिटी एनहांसर ड्रग्स है, वो सारी ड्रग्स को यूज करते हुए हम इसको एज ए प्रिवेंटिंग मेजर यूज करते हैं। तो ये आयुर्वेदा है कम्युनिकेबल कंटेक्स्ट में एज अ प्रिवेंटिव, एज अ क्यूरेटिव, एज अ प्रमोटिव और एज ए पर्सनलाइज्ड मेडिसिन हम इसको यूज कर सकते हैं। नीड क्यों है, आयुर्वेदा को क्यों इस महामारी के संदर्भ में इन्वॉल्व करना चाहिए, तो इन द करेक्ट सिनेरियो कम्युनिकेबल डिसीज इज एन आउटब्रेक, मेनली कोविड-19. It is spread by close contact via respiratory droplet, sneezing, coughing, fomiting infection, etc., etc. So there is no definitive promising treatment available against these organisms, or no specific vaccine is available at present scenario. तो सबसे महत्वपूर्ण बात है प्रिवेंशन इज बेटर देन क्योर। तो हमारे पास एक ही चॉइस है, प्रिवेंशन। तो इसके लिए हमें आयुर्वेदिक ग्रंथ जैसे जो भी उसमें प्रिंसिपल्स दिए गए हैं अल्टरनेटिव मेडिसिन में, उसके प्रिंसिपल्स को यूज करके एक प्रिवेंटिव एस्पेक्ट से उसको लेना चाहिए। तो आयुर्वेदा इस चीज में अपना जो प्रोफाउंड रोल दे सकता है एज ए प्रिवेंटिव मेडिसिन के तौर पे, उसमें हम जो स्वस्थ और रसायन के जो भी प्रिंसिपल्स आयुर्वेद में जो कॉन्सेप्ट दिए गए हैं उसको हम एलोबरेट कर सकते हैं। तो ये है नीड ऑफ आवर, ये जरूरी है। नाउ कमिंग टू कम्युनिकेबल डिसीज के रिगार्डिंग जो भी ग्रंथों में डिस्क्रिप्शन है उसके बारे में थोड़ा बात करते हैं। आचार्य सुश्रुत डिस्क्राइब द संक्रामक रोग एज ऑफसर्गिक रोग, मीन्स कम्युनिकेबल और कंटेजियस डिसीज दैट स्प्रेड थ्रू द कोइटस, जैसे कि सिफिलिस और गोनोरिया, कॉन्टैक्ट जैसे कि लेप्रेसी और चिकन पॉक्स, ड्रॉपलेट जैसे ट्यूबरक्लोसिस और न्यूमोनिया, डाइंग टुगेदर जैसे डायरिया और टाइफाइड, स्लीपिंग विथ जैसे स्किन डिसऑर्डर्स। ऐसे जो सारे डिसीजेस है वो किसी न किसी वजह से फैलते हैं। ये सुश्रुत ने भी एज ए ऑब्जर्विंग रोग डिस्क्राइब किया हुआ है बुक्स में, क्लासिक्स में। आचार्य चरक ने एक स्टेटमेंट दिया है कि रूट कॉज ऑफ जनपदोध्वंस, एपिडेमिक जो फॉल डाउन है उसको जनपदोध्वंस आयुर्वेद ग्रंथ में बोला गया है, इज अधर्म, मेनली बैड कंडक्ट which lead to pragyaprad, intellectual blasphemy or disturbance in intellect and memory disturbance, वो है mainly pragyaprad. This ultimately polluted the environment factors such as air, water, soil, time, etc., etc., and these vitiated factors causing the ravage of janpad, mean community में contagious disease को affect करते हैं। Acharya Sushruta also mentioned that the consequences of epidemics in the classics as कदाचित व्यापन नहीं स्वापी ऋतु, तो जो सीजनल डिअरेंजमेंट होता है वो हम आजकल देखते ही है ना, समर में भी कभी बारिश हो जाती है, कभी विंटर में भी बारिश हो जाती है, तो ये सारा ऋतुओं का मिथ्याचार है। कृत्या रॉन्ग कर्म, अभिशाप कर्स ऑफ एनिमल एंड काइंड्स, राक्षस डेमन्स, वायरस, मेनली इसको वायरस का संदर्भ में मैंने बोला है, क्रोध एंगर, रुद्रवस्त्र एंड जनपद पॉपुलेशन गेट एक्सटिंक्ट, vitiated air, vitiated water, these all are mutant. These result in manifestation of various diseases in community such as fever, coughing, breathlessness, vomiting, running nose and headache in the form of epidemics, जिसको क्लासिक्स में मरक बोला गया है। ठीक है, तो अब इसके प्रिवेंशन के लिए भी कुछ करना होगा, तो उसके लिए इस एस्पेक्ट में एपिडेमिक केयर एंड रिस्टोर्ड वेलबीइंग कंडीशन के लिए कुछ जो चीजें बताई गई है क्लासिक्स में वो मैं यहाँ कोट करता हूँ। जैसे कि स्थान परित्याग, आइसोलेट फ्रॉम द अफेक्टेड एरिया, चेंज ऑफ प्लेस, शांति कर्म, ट्रीटमेंट, पेसिफाइंग थेरापी, प्रायश्चित, एटोनमेंट, मंगल, अंडरटेकिंग ऑस्पिशियल एक्ट, जप, रिपीटेड रेसिटेशन एंड सेक्रेड इंसेक्शन में इसका मेनली पर्पस है मेडिटेशन से, होम, लाइटनिंग ऑफ सैक्रिफाइस फायर्स एयर प्यूरिफाइंग, इसका रिलेशन है सीधा ही यज्ञ से, होम, उपहार, गिफ्ट रेट सीन, नमस्कार, रिस्पेक्टफुल ग्रीटिंग, मनी सैल्यूशन विथ फोल्डेड हैंड, नॉट हैंड टू हैंड टच, नियम, फॉलो द कंडक्ट्स एंड रूल्स, दया, सिंपथी, दान, चैरिटी, दीक्षा, इनिशिएशन फ्रॉम द प्रेसेप्टर्स एंड डिवोशन टू गॉड, भगवान में श्रद्धा, ये सारी चीजें हैं एपिडेमिक फॉल को प्रिवेंट करने के लिए, थोड़ा मेंटली पीसफुल के लिए बहुत जरूरी है। दूसरा जो ग्रंथों में बोला गया है क्या क्या, उसके रिगार्डिंग क्या क्या प्रिवेंटिव मेजर्स ले सकते हैं, तो सबसे महत्वपूर्ण बात अपने ग्रंथों में बोली है स्वस्थ से स्वास्थ्य रक्षण। तो आयुर्वेदा एम टू प्रोटेक्ट द बॉडी फर्स्ट, द प्रोटेक्शन ऑफ हेल्थ ऑफ अ हेल्थी पर्सन is only possible by the following norms of दिनचर्या, daily routine, ऋतुचर्या, seasonal routine, पथ्य, do's and don'ts and सद्वृत, right conduct। ये सारी चीजों को फॉलो करने से हम जो अपने हेल्थ को मेंटेन कर सकते हैं और दूसरी चीजों से प्रिवेंट भी कर सकते हैं। डाइट का बहुत महत्वपूर्ण रोल है आयुर्वेदिक क्लासेस में। आहार शुद्धि सत्व शुद्धि, ऐसा एक कोटेशन दिया गया है। द कोट ऑफ आहार शुद्धि सत्व शुद्धि clearly indicates that clean ahar makes sanctified consequences. The intake of clean balanced diet at suitable place with proper regard without any hurry worry, sattva gun yukt ahar, identified ahar means viruddha ahar nahi lena hai, in proper quantity and avoidance of incompatible diet आर द जनरल नॉर्म्स इन ट्रेडिशनल प्रैक्टिस। ये सारा हमारे ग्रंथों में बहुत समय से, एंशिएंट टाइम से दिया गया है, लेकिन इसको लोग अभी फॉलो नहीं कर रहे हैं। इस सारी चीजों की वजह से डिसीज कंडीशंस क्रिएट होती है। बल, इम्यूनिटी, ये बहुत महत्वपूर्ण चीज है कम्युनिकेबल डिसीज को प्रिवेंट करने के लिए। तो इसका कंसेप्ट आयुर्वेद ग्रंथों में बहुत एलोबरेट किया गया है, जैसे कि द इम्यूनिटी इज सेल्फ डिसीज रेजिस्टेंस पावर दैट प्लेज अ की रोल इन द डिसीज एनहांस या हिंड्रेंस। द कंसेप्ट ऑफ ओज और बल मेंशन्ड इन आयुर्वेदा इज इंडिकेटिव ऑफ द इनेट इम्यूनिटी। Many Ayurvedic therapeutic procedures and herbal drugs are indicated for the enhancement of innate immunity, Vyadhi Kshama. It is achieved by two approaches. उसके दो व्याधि क्षमा को दो चीजों से अप्रोच कर सकते हैं, व्याधि बल विरोधित्व एंड व्याधि उत्पादक प्रतिबंधकत्व। Among them, व्याधि बल विरोधित्व is achieved by improving the immunity of an individual's body, while व्याधि उत्पादक प्रतिबंधकत्व is acquired by using certain Ayurvedic therapies. The contagious diseases like COVID-19 and other diseases also mainly affect the immunocompromised person and may result lethal. Lethal भी हो सकते हैं, तो उसको समय से पहले प्रिवेंट करना बहुत जरूरी है। उसके लिए अपनी खुद की बॉडी की इम्यूनिटी को पहले से ही उसके अगेंस्ट में प्रिपेयर करना, या तो उसके इम्यूनिटी को उसके सामने रेजिस्टेंस कर पाए ऐसे बनाना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। तो कुछ रसायन थेरापीज आयुर्वेद ग्रंथों में दी गई है जो कि इम्यूनिटी एनहांसर है। इन आयुर्वेदा रसायन थेरापी, एंटीऑक्सीडेंट थेरापी या रेजुवेनेशन थेरापी जिसको बोलते हैं, इज मोस्ट सुटेबल फॉर द एनहांसमेंट ऑफ इम्यूनिटी। फर्दर मेनी हर्ब्स लाइक गुरुचि, टिनोस्पोरा कॉर्डिफोलिया, यष्टि मधु, ग्लाइसिरस ग्लाब्रा, अश्वगंधा, गोक्षुर, पिपली, as well as medicinal formulations like च्यवनप्राश, ब्रह्म रसायन, वधमन पिपली रसायन, अगस्त्य रथकी, ये जो सारी ड्रग्स है वो पोटेंशियली बूस्ट द इम्यूनिटी ऑफ द पर्सन। तो पर्सन की इम्यूनिटी को पोटेंट करने में बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट रोल अदा करती है। इसके अलावा भी हम जो क्लासिक्स में कुछ ऐसी चीजें सुश्रुत में भी कोट करी गई है कि हम अपने आजू बाजू के एटमोस्फेयर को कैसे प्योरीफाई कर सकते हैं। तो उसके लिए फॉर्मेशन थेरापी, धूपन कर्म दिया गया है, जिसमें कुछ यह ड्रग में मैं करता हूँ। द कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ द सरसप, नींब पत्र, ग्रीत, लवण is practices dhupan from the ancient time which act an antiseptic measures. As per available material, dhupan fumigation method can be adopted. तो अपने आज आजू बाजू के एटमोस्फेयर को या तो हमारे घर के एटमोस्फेयर को क्लीन करने के लिए ये मेजर्स हम यूज कर सकते हैं। कुछ ट्रेडिशनल प्रिवेंटिव मेजर्स हैं जो बुक में कोट किए गए हैं, मैं एक के बाद एक बताता हूँ। जैसे कि द करंट बर्निंग इश्यू ऑफ स्प्रेडिंग कंटेजियस स्पॉटलाइट टू लुक बैक ट्रेडिशनल एरा दैट मे सेटर द चेन ऑफ सच डिसीजेस, जैसे कि नमस्ते संस्कार। द टर्म नमस्ते कम्स फ्रॉम हिंदू रिलीजन दैट मीन्स परफॉर्मिंग रिस्पेक्टफुल ग्रीटिंग इन अंजलि मुद्रा एंड प्रणाम आसन। दिस कीप पर्सन डिस्टेंस एज वेल एज ग्रीटिंग फॉर ईच अदर ऑल्सो। दिस इज हेल्पफुल इन प्रिवेंटिंग डायरेक्ट स्प्रेडिंग ऑफ कम्युनिकेबल डिसीजेस। दूसरा है यज्ञ। The tradition of yajna at many sacred occasions that impact to clean the mind, body and atmosphere. Then after है don't touch nose, eye, mouth unnecessarily. तो ये स्वाभाविक वेगों में हम इसको ले सकते हैं, जैसे कि natural urges. The urges of sneezing and coughing should be in right way without affecting the others. Should cover the nose and face by hand or a piece of cloth while sneezing, coughing, laughing or yawning. Further, maintain physical distance while talking with others to avoid transmission of spit, fall, smell or infections. ये बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण चीज है। नेक्स्ट, हस्तपाद प्रक्षालन, हैंड एंड फुट हाइजीन। Regular cleaning of the hand and feet in routine activities is supported to prevent infection. Shore karma, develop habit to cut the hair and beard timely. Regular cutting of nail by cutting it is also supported to prevention infection. Sharir parimarjan, habit of bath, body wash. The tradition of regular face and body wash, suchi vastra, wearing of clean clothes and bath are in a traditional practices need to follow. Fingering in nose, ear, mouth, and touching the body parts unnecessarily invite the disease infectious. That habit are to be avoided. It also very important for the disease prevention. Now coming to concluding this lesson, the Indian traditional medical care has description of the contagious diseases as a Sankramaka Roga and epidemic fall down with their prevention management such as Sadhvirit, daily regime, seasonal regime, Panchkarma therapies, rejuvenation therapies, immune enhancer therapies, etc. etc. These are able to play a crucial role in the prevention of communicable diseases. In Indian culture, many health restoring and disease preventive aspects are in their culture. It is required to eliminate the awareness in community to follow the right conduct in their daily habit. This may be a cost effective choice in preventing the spread of infectious disease. It is the matter of validation of scientific platform to prove the traditional science for the same. Thank you. Thank you so much that you providing me this platform for today's. Thank you so much. So much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the enlightening session. Now it is the time for doubt clearing. Delegates who are having doubts can ask in the comment box.
Dr. Nikhil, there is no any doubt. You can continue for the further program.
Okay, ma'am. Now I welcome Dr. C.H. Babiria, sir, Director, GJPIASR, for the presidential address. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Nikhil. Uh, First of all, good evening to all. And welcome in the sessions. First of all, I would like to say thank you very much to both the eminent speaker on this World Laboratory Day. And I'm very thankful to the head of the Department of ROGANIDANA and VIKRITI and other colleagues of this institute to arrange such type of lectures from eminent personality in the field of Ayurveda. Okay, in this webinar, as the pathological considerations or in other sense, Acharya Sushruta already wrote in Sutrasthana 20th chapters, and he opines that diagnosing the disease correctly is of prime importance before initiating any type of treatment, as a treatment protocol is totally based on the condition of the disease. As we all know, Ayurvedic system of medicine have its own time-tested diagnostic tools, but unfortunately, we are missing the skills of implement them. On the other hand, the modern diagnostic have advanced leaps and bounds in a short span of time. In current scenario, one have to master in both the aspects of diagnosis and need to interpret it correctly for the benefit of human society. But at the same time, we need to make an effort to revive our ancient techniques with the blend of modern technology to make them acceptable in today's techno era. Okay, I don't want to go in details, but on the eve of this World Laboratory Day, I would like to congratulate both the resource person, Dr. Parameeswarappa and Dr. Jeet, for their enlightening lectures, and I am sure that the participants have definitely cherished a lot. Again, I am very thankful to entire team of GJ Patel Institute of Ayurvedic Study and Research. Thank you one and all.
Thank you, sir. Madam, I can go with the vote of thanks, right?
Nikhil, you continue for the vote of thanks.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. So, on behalf of CVM's GJ Patel Institute of Ayurvedic Studies and Research, I feel honored to propose the vote of thanks. First of all, I thank our respected chairman, Engineer Bikubai Patel sir, for permitting and providing us the platform to conduct the informative session. And I extend my sincere gratitude to our chief guest, Dr. P.S. Byadgi sir and Dr. Jeet Varsakiya sir for their enlightening session for the Ayurvedic community. And I thank Dr. C.H. Babria sir, Director, GJ Patel Institute of Ayurveda Studies and Research, for sparing his valuable time with us as well as providing support to conduct the webinar. I thank my HOD Dr. Shubhangi Patil ma'am and Associate Professor Dr. Mahesh Patel for their sincere effort which made this event grand success. I convey my sincere thanks to all staffs of the CVM's GJPIASR who supported this webinar by their positive response and their appreciation. I must mention the special thanks to Extension Cell, PR Cell and the IT section of the GJPIASR for providing all technical and necessary arrangement for making this event grand success. Last but not least, I thank all the enlightened delegates who attended the webinar. Thank you. Thank you, one and all. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you to the entire team. Thank you very much.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Shall I leave?
Yes, sir, sure.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.